Alright, live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. I'm Aoxander, you, and we will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. Today is, of course, Sun's Day, aka Sunday, May 24th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 38-page document to go through, so not too bad. You know, a little on the higher side, but, you know, at least it's not 56 or whatever. You know, that's one crazy, you know, the first of this month actually was rather nuts. Anyway, let's get into the show, shall we? Starting us off from the other source in the year 919. The nobles of Franconia and Saxony elected Henry the Fowler at the Imperial Diet in Fritzlar as king of the East Frankish Kingdom. And if you want to see that other source and other sources as well, we already have that stuff in the underbar description below. We might collect links throughout the show, you know, in this, notepad here. So those will be in the underbar description below as well, after the live stream, of course. Moving on up to 1218, the Fifth Crusade left Acre for Egypt. 1487. That's actually 600 years before my birth. No. 500 years. Yeah, it's not yet 2087, so no. Imposter Lambert Simmel was crowned as King Edward VI in Dublin. So the 10-year-old Lambert Simmel was crowned in Christchurch Cathedral, Dublin, Ireland, with the name Edward VI in a bid to threaten King Henry VII's reign. So they're using a kid to threaten an adult. That I don't think that's going to end well. 1567. Eric XIV of Sweden and his guards murdered 5 incarcerated Swedish nobles.
So Sweden.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How
Golden
you doing?
Loon here.
Yeah,
Doing
good. 1595, nomenclature of Leiden University Library appeared, the first printed catalog of an institutional library. That's pretty cool. You okay?
Hmm?
You seem to be a bit out of breath there.
Yeah. Worked out too hard here.
Ah. Now, I just want to show... this was the thumbnail from last year, so it looks like I discovered the background colors. So, like, you see it's all... But look at all those pictures. Like, look how vastly different that is compared to the thumbnail that I have today. Like, you know, this is my standard format. Like, it's either, like, you know, the big blocks are either on these sides or they switch. It's either that or mirrored or something like that. But yeah, this image here... that's what I got, you know, from the library. So it's like a catalog, whole library and everything. So they have math here, philosophy, literature, theology, all that's theology. This is historic.
A lot of theology.
Medic. And then Turris Contuli. I don't know what the heck that is. This is all in Latin
French
or something.
section.
Yeah, maybe. So... but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up really quick. We have stuff from last year, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
1607, Jamestown, the first permanent English colony in North America, was founded. We covered this a couple of times with James Fort, or Fort James, or something like that.
I don't remember.
Eventually to become the first. So this is when it actually did. 1621, the Protestant Union was formally dissolved. 4 centuries ago, 1626, Peter Minuit bought Manhattan.
Whoa.
Yeah. 1667, French troops attack in the southern Netherlands. That's a whatever article in and of itself, but from the other source, we have the French Royal Army cross the border into the Spanish Netherlands, starting the War of Devolution, opposing France to the Spanish Empire and the Triple Alliance. That's a lot more substantial of an article there. 1683, the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, England, opened as the world's first university museum.
Whoa.
It's pretty cool, and here it is, yeah.
Oh.
That's a really cool architecture right there. So it's a more modern picture, obviously. 1689, English Parliament guaranteed freedom of religion for Protestants, but excluding Roman Catholics. So they passed the Act of Toleration protecting dissenting Protestants, but excluding Roman Catholics. So, Oh, well, that's England. So, yeah, like, that was the Church of England, which wouldn't have...
Church of England's a Protestant church.
Yeah. Okay, so, of course, you know, they're doing something for Protestants. 1738, John Wesley was converted, launching the Methodist movement, celebrated annually by Methodists as Aldersgate Day. All right. Yeah, in church services...
We have the Methodists today.
Yeah. Church service is generally held on the preceding Sunday. Okay, so but today is Sunday, so it lines up great for them today. So, 1755, smuggler Louis Mandrin, considered the French Robin Hood, was sentenced to be broken on the wheel, a medieval form of torture and execution that breaks the bones of the subject.
So give me the French Robin Hood guy again. His name was Louis what?
Or Louis,
Louis.
Louis
Yeah.
Louis Mandrin.
Huh.
So, was he the Mandarin? So, but I have a picture here of somebody on the wheel. This isn't exactly him, but that's how
They did.
they did things, with the wheel.
They stretched you, right?
Well, that's the rack.
Oh.
The wheel, like they put you around and then you just
left you there.
spin
they
you
spun it?
around, or like maybe they like
stretched
whipped
you
you.
some way.
Well, there is the rack.
Yeah, no, the
That's-
rack's different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't know how, like, I guess they stretch you out and then affix you, but then, unless they have, like, two separate things that go like that, there's no way, really, to stretch somebody more than they've been stretched on a wheel. It's not the rack.
Well, if you tie their feet and hands down or whatever and turn
Yeah.
the wheel,
Yeah.
you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on up, what else do we got here? 1764, Samuel Adams wrote instructions for Boston town meeting opposing the Sugar Act, laying the groundwork for colonial resistance to taxation without representation. Yeah. 1775, John Hancock was unanimously elected president of the Continental Congress. 1798, British Rebellion of 1798, led by the United Irishmen against British rule, began. So, for literal hundreds of years, the Irish have been fighting the British for full independence. That's, and then they're like, then they get all like uppity with the Troubles and everything. It's just like, what do you expect? You're basically teaching people how to be terrorists. So, 1798, we got that one. 1803, Ludwig van Beethoven and black violinist George Bridgewater performed a concert together at the Agarten in Vienna. That's awesome.
Yeah.
1813, South American independence leader Simon Bolivar entered Merida, leading the invasion of Venezuela, and was proclaimed El Libertador, or the Liberator. So, Simon Bolivar, a large name in South American history and whatnot. Venezuela.
Yeah.
1815, English surveyor George Evans was the first European to discover the Lachlan River in Australia. I mean, like, for the first white guy to find it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the Aboriginals knew about it.
Yeah, and used it.
Yeah. 1822, Battle of Pinchitas, Simon Bolivar secured independence of Ecuador from Spain. So he wasn't just doing things for Venezuela. He was doing things for, like a lot of South America, getting Spain out of there and everything. 1824, Pope Leo XII proclaimed a universal jubilee. That was a weird noise. In an attempt to strengthen a closer bond between the Pope and the Christian people. All right. 1830, Mary Had a Little Lamb by Sarah Joseph Hale was first published by Boston firm Marsh, Copen, and Leon. Okay, it's telling me to image search this because this wokeism needs to stop. Like, here we go. They blackwashed her. Are you kidding? I'm surprised the lamb's still white. Honestly.
What do you mean they blackwashed?
Well, they put in a black girl. Usually it's a white girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you see that white girl. It is the original book cover.
Right.
The lamb was black, and then now the lamb is white and the girl's black. What the hell's going on? This is weird. So, anyway, what else do we got here? 1830, first regular passenger rail service on the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad line. Horse-drawn rail cars connect Baltimore to Elcott's Mills. This is what something a lot of people don't understand about the railroads. When they were first conceived and everything, they're basically going to be purpose-built roads for essentially stagecoaches. Like those were the first rail cars, and they were to be horse-drawn. The only difference between stagecoaches and this is that stagecoaches ran on unpaved roads. That's just a car starting or something. And bumpy, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you had it on rails, you had a smoother ride, and you had a purpose-built road. It's not something that can get washed away easily.
Horses would have a hell of a time, though.
I guess so. I mean,
on those tracks, yeah. The tripping possibility and all that stuff. The stability for them,
Yeah. that is a good point. I never thought of that. But yeah, and eventually, like, the steam engine and the Industrial Revolution happened and everything, and then they made locomotives and, but like, I remember that because like people were making, like, in Foxhole, that one game, the actual railroad tracks come out before the railroad, like the large engines, the large gauge rails and everything. And people always make fun of it, and I'm just like, well, you know what, in actual real life, yada yada, I told them the same thing I just said here. It's really fascinating, once you start learning, things in history and such. 1832, the first kingdom of Greece was declared in the London Conference. All right. 1844, Samuel Morse tapped out "What hath God wrought" in the world's first telegraph message.
Oh.
So, it was a biblical quotation, Numbers 23:23, from a committee room in the United States Capitol to his assistant, Alfred Vail, in Baltimore, Maryland, to inaugurate a commercial telegraph line between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So that's pretty cool. And actually, it's telling me to image search this, so I'm going to do that really quick, because it actually shows the telegraph right here. Like, dot, dash, for W. So, like, that's how you would write it into telegraph. That's awesome. What else we got here? 1847, German explorer Ludwig Leichhardt was awarded the Patron's Medal by the Royal Geographical Society in London in recognition of the increased knowledge of the great continent of Australia's gained by his Moreton Bay Port Essington journey. Excellent. 1854, escaped slave Anthony Burns was arrested by U.S. Deputy Marshals in Boston under the Fugitive Slave Act. 2 years after that, Potawatomi Massacre, John Brown and abolitionist settlers killed 5 pro-slavery settlers in Franklin County, Kansas. Yeah, here he is, John Brown. Like, he looks like a nutcase. He absolutely was a nutcase. Like, let me look up this image here, because there's something here. Oh no, not that one. This one. Here we go. John Brown felt the need to punish pro-slavery Kansas. On the night of May 24th, 1856, he led a group of 7 men along Potawatomi Creek in eastern Kansas. They killed 5 pro-slavery men in what became known as the Potawatomi Massacre. Yeah, he ultimately would hold himself up and like here, look at that. Like, like that. That's how nuts he was. Like, he's a biblical figure almost.
Yeah.
Like, but like he eventually held up in a in like an armory or something, and fought the Union before the Civil War. But fought the federal troops and everything, and they ended up he didn't make it. Yeah. But remember that article a couple weeks back? We were talking about something like this, and it led up to the Civil War. Like, it was the first shots.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah, John Brown. Like, he arguably started the Civil War in an attempt to avoid it. He was trying to stomp out pro-slavery by being essentially an extremist. For the good, like in all the bad ways and the good ways, an extremist. If I'm making any sense, he had good beliefs, but he was going too far, like McCarthyism, type of thing. So, anyway, 1861, Alexandria, Virginia was occupied by Union troops during the U.S. Civil War, when Colonel Elmer E. Ellsworth became the first Union officer to be killed during the conflict. Oh, okay. Moving on up to 1861 as well, Union Major General Benjamin Butler declared escaped slaves, quote, contraband of war, end quote. After 3 slaves escaped to Fort Monroe, it will become Union policy and change the course of the war. We spoke about that yesterday. 1862, Birdsley Field Telegraph used for the first time. So, on the field, a telegraph, which is, does it have...
Wild.
Yeah, like, you'd have to have a whole wire.
I'm trying to think how that works. Okay, how do you connect to that in the field?
Yeah. But at the same time, like, even as recent as World War II, because, like, there is that one scene in Enemy at the Gates about the Battle of Stalingrad, where, like, they shot the wire, and then they had captured his friend and then dressed him up in a German uniform, and then had him crawling to spool another wire, and then, not knowing it was his friend, he shot him.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, it was just a solid wire for however many miles long, potentially. Like, so that's wild. 1862 as well, the Westminster Bridge across the Thames in London opened, becoming the second such bridge after an earlier bridge fell into decay.
Whoops.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at that bridge. It's awesome. 1866, Berkeley, California was named after George Berkeley, the Bishop of Clayton. All right. 4 years later, we have a memorial of Jackson Kemper, the first missionary bishop in the U.S. All right. Alexandria Palace in 1873 opened on Queen Victoria's 54th birthday with a grand celebration, including concerts, recitals, and fireworks. That sounds pretty cool. Actually, you know what? What does Alexandria Palace look like? And oh yeah, that's abolitionist. That's the John Brown thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's him held up in the whatever.
Armory.
Yeah, armory. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. Yeah, look at that beautiful palace there. Wow, look at the size of that thing.
What is this again?
It's the
geez.
Alexandria Palace.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. And
Thing is huge.
huh. They have a before and after. So I guess there used to be a big dome here that's no longer there. But what happened to the other floor? Like, it's the same building, but they got rid of a whole floor. Or
Go back to the original building.
right here, like it's uniform. Huh.
That
A
doesn't look
lot
like
of
the
it.
same
A
thing.
lot of it is different.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture of it. So there's a big with a big dome,
Yeah.
but now it doesn't have the dome. What happened?
I don't know.
Huh?
But you see, this is in front. That there, the gable and the wood looking, that's in front of the dome.
Yes,
I
but
don't
the
know
dome
what
is
happened to
still
the rest of
gone.
it. Half of it's gone, or I don't know what's
Well,
happened
no,
there.
like this. It's a side by side then and now. Like, you know, this is old and this is today
Oh.
or whatever. Because you can see that there's tree. It's all black and white, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not a photograph. It's a drawing.
Yeah.
You know, but like you can see how like, you know, then it goes into color and everything. There's all these houses over here, but there's no houses over here.
Yeah.
I think maybe there was a fire
I
or
don't
something. I'm not sure. It's weird because like a lot of it is gone.
Doesn't look the same.
Yeah, we got it's the same building, but a lot of it is missing. Anyway, 1873, Patrick Francis Haley became the first black president of a predominantly white university in the U.S.
Good.
All right. 78, C.A. Parker of Harvard won the first U.S. bike race at Beacon Park in Boston. 1881, overloaded Canadian river ferry Princess Victoria sunk near London, Ontario. 180 people died.
Oh.
Wow. Massively overloaded. 1883, here we go. The Brooklyn Bridge, opened by President Chester A. Arthur and New York Governor Grover Cleveland after 14 years of construction.
Jeez.
And
14 years?
Have you ever seen or heard that show, If We Built It Today?
I haven't seen it.
They
no.
take things like, I remember that
Yeah.
they did an episode about the Brooklyn Bridge, like, you know, if you try to build it one for one, like, you know, with the same,
Build
you know,
it today.
materials and everything.
Yeah.
And for a lot of them, the answer is no, because one, it would go grossly over budget, beyond comprehension. Two, there's so many safety regulations now and everything, which I'm not bashing it, believe me. You know me, I'm Mr. Safety. But a lot of things that they got away with would not allow us to build this bridge. You know?
And it'll show up in construction told this. Now, I don't know if anybody died building that thing, but a lot of construction
absolutely.
was pretty dangerous.
Oh, absolutely, people died building any bridge. You know, their Golden Gate Bridge, people died building it.
Golden Gate Bridge, they did,
Yeah, Brooklyn Bridge, I'd be surprised. You know what? Let me look this up. Did anyone die building the Brooklyn Bridge? Let's see here. Construction took 14 years and multiple lives. Horrific workplace accidents claimed a string of lives and left its designer dead and its son crippled. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, wow, even the designer died. Yikes. So, that bridge is deadly. Oh yeah, check that out.
Fireworks?
Yeah, for the opening.
Yeah, okay.
Which tells me, did I not delete, do I have two of the same image in the thumbnail? I do, I have two Brooklyn bridges in here. Oh, whoops. Huh.
Oh,
well,
that's okay.
Whoopsies. Okay. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1884, anti-monopoly party in Greenback, and the Greenback Party formed the People's Party in the U.S. So two parties merging into one, it sounds like. 1887, 100 years before my birth, Sultan Bargash of Zanzibar granted East African Association at East African harbors. 1890, Geo Train and Sam Wall circumnavigate the world in a record 67 days from Tacoma to Tacoma. Huh. Well, they went around the world. 1894, Lowell Observatory in Arizona first began observations of Mars with an 18-inch telescope. Leads its builder Percival Lowell to conclude there are canals on Mars. Yeah, and that's when they first thought that there was life. They thought that there was, like how we have canals on Earth. 1899, first auto repair shop opened in Boston. 1900, during the Second World War, the United Kingdom annexed the Orange Free States. 1 year after that, 78 miners died in the Cafferley pit disaster in South Wales. Yikes. 1902, Cleveland's Bill Bradley was the first American leaguer to hit a home run in 4 consecutive games, not duplicated until Babe Ruth does it in June 25th, 1918, so 16 years later. 1902, Empire Day was first celebrated in Britain. We're going to be talking about that again. And the euphemistic language is going to make an appearance here, so just watch out. 1915, Thomas Alva Edison invented Telescribe to record telephone conversations. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Would you like a Kleenex? Okay. So, I wonder who he stole that from. 1915 as well, during the First World War, Italy declared war on Austria-Hungary, joining the conflict on the side of the Allies. We covered that yesterday, honoring their agreement with whatever it was that they signed. 1916, conscription began in Britain for the war.
Oh, for the war, yeah.
Yeah. We also have the French were driven out of Fort Douaumont after 500 were killed or injured. Now, this is...
What is that?
Fort Douaumont. This is, a modern picture of Fort Douaumont. Let me bigger this, actually, really quick, just to show you. They basically... It's all mostly underground. But you can see all the craters of the shelling and everything. Now, I want to show you... They have an aerial view of the before and after. When it was a fresh fort, before it got bombarded and everything. And after. Why is it not showing me? Oh, that was the wrong one. Hold on a second. Copy. Okay, so there we go. Here we go. So this is open image in a new tab. On the top is what it looked like. So like this fresh fort ready for war. Yeah. And then this is afterwards.
Oh my goodness. Just
like all the forest, everything. It's just outside of the shape, everything is just moonscape. Yeah. Just madness. So 1916, the last British Indian contract workers arrived in Suriname. 1918, Cleveland starter Stan Krovinsky set club record for most innings pitched at 19 in a complete game as the Indians defeated the New York Yankees 3-2 at the Polo Grounds in New York City.
The guy went the whole way, 19 innings.
Yeah, now, I want to go back. Did I answer your question about Fort Douaumont? Because you asked what is that, and it was like a French fort.
Yeah.
During World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a lot of those, large, they dug into pre-established hills or something and turned entire hills into forts.
Yeah, no, you could see that in that other photo. Yeah. No, you answered it.
Okay. 1920, undercover police in Chicago raided the bleachers at Cubs Park, now known as Wrigley Field, and arrested 47 fans for gambling. Meanwhile, Grover Cleveland Alexander pitched a complete game shutout as Cubs defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 6-0. All on the same day. 21, the first parliament for Northern Ireland was elected. Excellent. Borehole Massacre, Police Commissioner Colonel Theodore Truder led 6 squadrons and artillery detachment against Israelite religious sect collected at annual gathering on land of leader Enoch Magijinra at Nitakabalanga. 190 were killed. What the heck? Where is that? Here we go. This. So wow. So they used military force against a bunch of Jews. Why? That's wild. What the hell? They killed 190 of them. 21. The first Comrades Marathon took place in Durban, South Africa, created by World War I veteran Vis Clapham to commemorate the South African soldiers killed during the war. 22. Recorded temperature in Netherlands for May recorded at 35.6 degrees Celsius or 96 Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
That's hot.
You're not kidding.
24.
In the Netherlands?
Yeah, that's impossibly hot.
Yeah.
So, 24, Canada granted women the right to vote in federal elections, though First Nations women still unable to without giving up their status. Like, what does that mean?
What status?
Yeah, like...
being a woman?
That,
They had to declare they were men?
Well, no, like
I don't know what that means.
Is it societal status?
I don't know.
Are they a bourgeois or whatever? I mean, it's Canada, so... if anybody can answer that question, let us know in the comments section. Speaking of comments, do we have any comments? I don't see any on there, and I don't see any on here. All right. 1 century ago, in 1926, Finnish runner Paavo Nurmi set world 3,000 meter record at 8 minutes 25.4 seconds in Berlin, Germany. It's pretty fast. 28, Italian aviator Umberto Nobile flew airship Italia over North Pole again, although crashed onto an ice pack a day later. So that's tomorrow. 28 as well, a record 12 future Baseball Hall of Famers took the field as New York Yankees defeated Philadelphia A's 9-7 at Shibe Park. Managers Millie Huggins and Connie Mack, umpire Tom Connolly, also Hall of Famers. So, wow. Yeah, that must have been a heck of a game to watch.
Yeah, that's a lot of talent. Including managers and everything else.
Yeah.
Connie Mack,
that's the All-Star game right there. So. 29, Chicago White Sox pitcher Ted Leons and Detroit's George Olney went 21 innings before Tigers got a run to win 6-5. Longest game at 3 hours, 31 minutes ever at Comiskey Park in Chicago. So that's that's three 7-inning stretches. So, yeah, 21 innings.
Yeah.
So, 19, I'm having a stroke.
7
Yeah, me and my 7-inning stretches.
I'm on a slow burn here.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a weird mental problem today as well. I just feel weird. So, in 1930, Amy Johnson landed in Darwin, Northern Territory, becoming the first woman to fly solo from England to Australia, having left on May 5th for the 11,000-mile flights. Good on you, lady. Outside New York Yankees, legendary slugger Babe Ruth homered in both games of a doubleheader, defeating Philadelphia A's 10-6 and 11-1, giving him 9 home runs in 1 week. He's having a heck of a week there. 31, first air-conditioned train installed at the B&O Railroad, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad.
No more BO with air conditioning.
Yeah, I know, right? I want to image search this here. It showed the interior of the car. It did, at least. Hold on a second. Why is it not showing it now? It showed like a schematic of how the air conditioning flowed. But I'm not finding it now. That's weird. There it is. Okay. So let me open image and just have, if I can get it, and I cannot. So that's as big as I'm going to get it here. But it shows like how the heat rises and the cool air throws here, how it's all circulating.
Yep.
Like compressors, a fan, electric heater. Okay, so that's for both heating and cooling. So that's pretty cool. So. 1935, the first Major League Night Baseball game in Cincinnati, Reds 2, Philadelphia 1. All right. 36, Dutch bishops forbade membership of Nazi Party. Like, for much as I agree with that, that's also, like, if you start forbidding people, from joining your organization, no matter what the reason, where do you draw the line, Like, so... 36, Tony Lazzeri, 2 Grand Slams, 11 RBIs. Ben Chapman sets record by reaching first 7 times safely. Yankees defeat A's 25-2.
Whoa.
Holy, they got creamed. 1940, first night game at St. Louis Sportsman Park, Indians 3, Browns 2. 1940 as well, Adolf Hitler and General von Rundstedt issued a halt order stopping a German armed division and allowing British and French armies to evacuate through Calais and Dunkirk.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they figured, why waste the gas running them down? They'll just knock at them, with the airplanes, if you've seen the movie Dunkirk.
Yes, we did.
So, yeah, it was nothing short of a miracle.
I did it. You saw it, right?
Yeah, we both saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
So, I was just asking if you remembered seeing it.
Yeah, I do.
So, okay.
All the private ships and everything coming over from England to pick them up and transport them out of there?
Yeah. They got 300,000 people out.
Something like that. Yeah.
Crazy. They only thought they were only going to get 30,000 or something. If that. 1940, the Dutch army demobilized because they were conquered. 1940 as well. German tanks reach Arras, France, and the New York Giants swat the Boston Bees 8-1 in first night game at Polo Grounds, New York City. I love how they, because they're the bees, you swat them, So I love the wordplay. Like every now and then, there's a little cheeky, attitude going on in the primary source here. 1940, Igor Sikorsky performed the first successful single rotor helicopter flight.
Oh.
There he is right there. And actually, let's see here. If we can recognize... there's Simon Bolivar, the guy, who's liberating Venezuela. And he was, that's the South American guy. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Oh, there we go. There's an image. Although I think that looks AI, honestly.
It looks like a sketch, actually.
It looks AI. Because there's no railroad ties.
Pen and pencil or something.
Yeah. So... Telegraph. Whoa, that's way too big. I can't smaller it there. There's that abolitionist guy and everything. I think that was because I couldn't find this again, and I don't want to reuse things from last year,
Right.
So if possible. But I think that was the first auto garage.
Oh.
Yeah. And here's the helicopter.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
another image of him right there. That's a better image actually than the one I picked. So, what else do we got here? 1940 as well. Acting on the orders of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, NKVD, the Soviet secret police, essentially. Agent Iosif Grunevich orchestrated an unsuccessful assassination attempt on exiled Russian revolutionary Leon Trotsky in Coyoacan, Mexico. So, Trotsky, run, but he doesn't run. 41.
We had a lot of power.
Yeah. But no, this was
behind the scenes.
Yeah, but he was exiled by now, though. He's in Mexico, and he gets killed in Mexico, right?
I'm not sure.
I thought he did. So
I have no idea.
let's look this up. Where did Trotsky get killed? Let's see here. An ice axe. Yikes. Mexico City.
You're right.
Whoa.
Good pull.
Coyoacan, the same place. So he didn't even leave after the first attempt. What the hell, dude? Stupid.
And they got him.
Wow. Well, I mean, he didn't move, so of course. 1941, German battleship Bismarck sunk as the British battlecruiser HMS Hood, or sunk the British battlecruiser HMS Hood, causing 1,416 deaths and 3 survivors. So as part of the Battle of the Atlantic, the Battle of the Denmark Strait saw the German battleship Bismarck sink the pride of the Royal Navy HMS Hood, killing all but 3 crewmen. Whoa. Yeah, that was a big blow to Britain right there.
Yeah.
43, final entry in the Stroop report detailing the destruction of the Jewish Warsaw Ghetto compiled by Nazi officers, later used as evidence in the Nuremberg trials. 43 as well, German Admiral Dönitz stopped U-boat operations in the Atlantic Ocean. This was the turning point in the Battle of the Atlantic. 1944, Enver Hoxha became head of Albania's anti-fascists. Okay. Congress of Permet occurred, which established a provisional government in Albania in areas under partisan control, the first independent Albanian government since 1939. In honor of this, the national emblem of Albania inscribed this date from 1946 until 1992. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
44, Icelandic voters sever all ties with Denmark.
Oh.
Yeah. What's going on there? Loons time. Bill Dickey replaced Joe McCarthy as New York Yankees manager in 1946. 1948, we have the Arab-Israeli War. Egypt captured the Israeli kibbutz of Yad Mordechai, but the 5-day effort gave Israeli forces time to prepare enough to stop the Egyptian advance a week later. 1951, racial separation in Washington, D.C. restaurants were ruled illegal, and they are. 53, Pope Pius XII published encyclical Doctor Malefonius to commemorate the 800th anniversary of the death of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. Now, the actual guy, not a dog. So,
Yeah.
1954, the first rocket attained 150 miles or 241 kilometer altitude at White Sands, New Mexico. We also have Dr. Peter Murray Marshall became the first black U.S. citizen to head a U.S. Medical Association unit in New York County. German airline Lufthansa formed. Okay. So,
Still around today.
Lufthansa, yeah. 1954 as well. We're stuck in 54. IBM announced vacuum tube electronic brain that could perform 10 million operations an hour. That's crazy. That makes me wonder, if today's technology still is not comparable to the abilities of the human brain, like what like do we do 10 quadrillion operations a second or something? Like, you know, what does a human brain do? You know, like how are we not, you know, inferior to calculators? I can't think of what 32 times 32 is in my head, but a calculator can, yet I'm somehow, you know, superior. Like, I mean, I guess a calculator can't breathe, but
you're more dimensional, that's for sure.
True, but, you know, still. 54, moving on to 56, the first Eurovision Song Contest was held in Lugano, Switzerland. Liz Assia for Switzerland won the singing refrain in Lugano. Okay. 56, conclusion of the Sixth Buddhist Council on Vesak Day, marking the 2,500 year anniversary after the Lord Buddha's Parayanio Madana. Can't pronounce that word.
Okay.
So, 57, anti-U.S. riots broke out in Taipei, Taiwan. Oh, come on, Taiwan. What are you doing?
Anti-American riots. Wow.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Well, China wasn't secured at the time.
Oh, okay. 57, heavy earthquake struck Colombia. What was the Richter Mercalli, whatever the scale is? So the damage, cost, injuries, deaths, numbers. I need numbers. 58, Cuban President Fulgencio Batista opened a military offensive against Fidel Castro's armed rebellion.
And lost.
Too little, too late. 58, United Press Association and International News Service merged to form United Press International. Alright. 59, first house with built-in bomb shelter was exhibited at Pleasant Hills, Pennsylvania.
Good old bomb shelter. That was a big biggie when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a biggie here again soon with how everything is going. So, but yeah, like, I'm not sure which, you know, is this the original one? You know, built-in bomb shelter? That doesn't look built-in unless you're talking about built into the property. That looks more like, you know, an old kiln or something.
Yeah.
You know? Like something from the side of that mission that we went to. San Luis Obispo or something. So, but yeah. 1959, Empire Day was renamed Commonwealth Day in Great Britain. Here we go with the, you know, euphemistic language. 1960, the 1 millionth Dutch telephone was installed. And we have, following the 1960 Valdivia earthquake, the largest ever recorded earthquake, Cordon Calle began to erupt. So a volcano started going off. But didn't we already cover the largest ever earthquake like yesterday or something? I could have sworn that we had an article that claimed the largest ever earthquake or something.
That whole island went.
Well, no. That's
a volcano.
That's a volcano. Yeah. It's not done yet. It started.
Yeah.
But the penultimate explosion, we're not there yet.
Right. Okay.
So, and that's Krakatoa.
Yeah.
61, 27 Freedom Riders were arrested in Jackson, Mississippi for disturbing the peace, quote unquote, after disembarking from the bus. Oh, fuck off, you're disturbing the peace. 61, Cyprus joined the Council of Europe. Alright. 62, the Beatles recorded Sweet Georgia Brown and Swanee in Hamburg, Germany to close out their contract with producer Bert Kaempfert. Tony Sheridan later dubbed the vocal over tracks. Okay, I don't know why I had a hard time reading that. 62, U.S. astronaut Scott Carpenter aboard Aurora 7, the Mercury Atlas 7, orbited the Earth 3 times in a flight just under 5 hours. It's pretty fast. 63, the first Lockheed A-12 to crash, CIA pilot Ken Collins ejected safely. Good. 63, no, I'm not going to read that. That's marked wrong. 64, we have the longest home run at 471 feet in Baltimore Memorial Stadium. Harmon Killebrew, Minnesota Twins.
Killebrew, yeah.
Yeah. 64, we have a panic in Lima, Peru soccer stadium, killed 300. Oh. Yikes. It's terrible. 1965, Supreme Court declared federal law allowing post office to intercept communist propaganda is unconstitutional. Yeah, I agree with that. See, this enforces the point I was making earlier. Like, you know, we have every right and every reason to do things against communists because they're sure as shit doing things against us, outside our country and within our own country. Mm-hmm. But as soon as we start doing that to them, we're no better than them. At the same time, you know, we gotta be privy, you know, to their tricks and, you know, defend ourselves. But I mean,
what's your point here?
Like my point is, like, you know, if we're gonna sit here and bang our chests about, you know, capitalism is better, you know, or democracy is better, being a republic is better, we gotta demonstrate it, you know. So, like, making, you know, this unconstitutional is demonstrating it. We treat our enemies better than they treat their own people, you know.
Yeah.
So, 1967, AFL granted a franchise to Cincinnati Bengals.
Ah.
Yep, 68, U.S. boxer Bob Foster defeated holder Dick Tiger for the World Light Heavyweight Championship in Madison Square Gardens, New York, going on to defend title 14 times. Wow. 68 as well, FLQ separatist bomb the U.S. consulate in Quebec City. French President Charles de Gaulle proposed a referendum and students set fire to Paris Borehole. Yikes. So the Paris Borehole during the unrest of May 1968. So, you know, and this was like, as eventually people started hating Charles de Gaulle. Times change, and you know, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. 1968, Haiti closed down shortwave station 4 VAH for 40 days. Why? That's, you know, power? No power? Like, you know, what's going on? I was that Mick Jagger and Marianne Faithfull were arrested for drug possession in England. I am not surprised. So, in 69... was released by cartoon band The Archies, Billboard Song of the Year, 1969.
Sugar, sugar.
Da, 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 da. So, sugar, sugar, and add that link into there, actually. There we go. That'll be, as I mentioned earlier, that'll be in the underbar description below after the live stream. 1970, British guitarist Peter Green quit Fleetwood Mac to join a religious cult. Yikes.
Whoa.
Yeah. The drilling of the Kola Superdeep borehole began in the Soviet Union. Do you know what that is?
What?
It's like a 7-some-odd mile hole. It's like a small hole. It's like this big or something. You know, it's not that big. But they were testing, like the Soviets were testing to see how far we can drill down. You know, just, you know, like what can we do and everything.
Yeah.
And like they got that, you know, it's like their findings were a lot different, and it's still being studied to this day. They got to a certain depth, and like the sound, they said it sounded like hell, like the screams of the anguish or something. What's it called? The deep borehole, the Kola, super deep borehole sounds. Let's see if I can bring out the sound. Scary sound recorded under the world's deepest
Scary
hole.
sound recorded under the world's deepest hole.
So this is what the Earth sounds like deep under the crust. That is coming from within the Earth. So now maybe they drilled into hell, and they also said that like the rock, it acted more like rubber. Like at one point, like it wasn't like a liquid, but it wasn't a solid. It was in between, like the transitionary period.
Yeah, where
you know,
it's just heating up but not melting.
Yeah. Oh, and they stopped drilling because all of their drill heads were melting. You know.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah.
71, a commuter
How
bus.
far down did they get against?
Like 7 miles or something.
Yeah.
So
something like that.
yeah. 1971, a commuter bus plunged into the Panama Canal, killing 38 of 43 aboard. Yikes. 74, the Dean Martin Show last aired on NBC TV.
Ah.
1975, the Dutch government of de Uyl decided to obtain a singular F-16. It sounds like it says un F-16, so one. So cool, one plane. 76, the first commercial SST, so I think that stands for Supersonic Travel, flight to North America as Concorde arrived in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's what it is, supersonic.
So, yep. 76, the judgment of Paris. Wine testers rate wines from California higher than their French counterparts, challenging the notion of France being the foremost producer of the world's best wines.
I remember that. Oh, being a big, man, you know.
Look at that. That's for last year.
We are on the map, California.
Yep.
And they are today recognized as really good wines.
Yeah. And 1978, U.S. management consultant Marilyn Loden first coined the term glass ceiling to describe invisible career barriers for women. Yep. '79, we have the 32nd Cannes Film Festival. Apocalypse Now, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and D. Big Trommel, directed by Volker Stollendorf, jointly awarded the Palme d'Or. 1980, Rock Lobster, single by B-52s, hit number 56. Have you heard of Rock Lobster?
I don't recall it.
Rock
B-52,
Lobster.
I know, but not that song.
Hold on a second. Let's see here. Rock Lobster, 1980.
They're from Ireland or somewhere, Scotland or Ireland or something.
I only know of it because of Family Guy, Iraq Lobster, or Iraq Lobster. So, let me fast forward it to here. This might be familiar for you.
It might, if I hear it.
Yeah, if it plays. So while it's doing that... Oh, okay, well, it's going to be in the underbar, for anybody who wants to listen to that. 1980, Iran rejected a call to world court to release U.S. hostages. Friggin' Iran, dude. 1980 as well, Stanley Cup Final, Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York, in first finals appearance. New York Islanders defeated Philadelphia Flyers 5-4 in overtime for a 4-2 series win. 1981, hostage situation ended at Central Bank in Barcelona, Spain. We also have Ecuadorian President Jaime Rolos Aguilera. His wife and his presidential committee died in an aircraft accident while traveling from Quito to Zapatolo minutes after the president gave a famous speech regarding the 24th de Mayo anniversary of the Battle of Pinchinida. That almost sounds like an assassination. 82, liberation of Koranashmar. Iranians recaptured of the port city of Koranashmar from the Iraqis during the Iran-Iraq War. 83, Supreme Court ruled government can deny tax breaks to schools that radically discriminated against students. Good. 1 year later, the Detroit Tigers won American League record's 17th straight road game. Dang. 86, Margaret Thatcher became the first British Prime Minister to visit Israel. Alright. You also have Reginald Hofstadter treaded water for 985 hours.
Wow.
Pickled raisin is beyond described. He's gone from wrinkle to just a giant blueberry. Ao's time.
There you go.
1987, the Golden Gate Bridge 50th anniversary.
Oh.
Over 800,000 people show up. 300,000 walk on bridge at the same time. Span temporarily flattened from the weight.
Wow.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Find an image of this.
So what they're basically saying is it started sagging.
Yes. Look at that. Wow, 1987. My year. That is an obscene amount of people.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. What else do we got here? 1988, John Moshita set record for fast talking, 586 words per minute. So... why is that record not held by a woman? Come on, women statistically talk more, talk faster, at least be best in the job that you guys are best at. 88, power outage at Boston Garden in NHL Stanley Cup Finals. We also have Section 28 passed as law by Parliament in the United Kingdom prohibiting the promotion of homosexuality, repealed in 2001/2004. So repealed again? How do you repeal it 3 years different? That's weird. Where is it? 1988, right here. That's weird. 1989, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, and produced by George Lucas's Lucasfilm, premiered. French Nazi war criminal Paul Touvier was arrested at the Society of St. Pius X Monastery in Nice. Nice. 89, New York Yankee hurler Lee Gutterman set record of pitching 30 2/3 innings before giving up his first run of the season. Wow.
Ooh.
1989, Siona Sutcliffe, wife of the Yorkshire Ripper, was awarded £600,000 in damages after winning a libel action against satirical magazine Private Eye, later reduced to $60,000 on appeal. Wow, that's bullshit. That's a 100% decrease.
Yeah.
What the hell? 1989, Weird Al Yankovic recorded 3 tracks for his UHF movie soundtrack. That's a good movie. 1990, a car carrying U.S. Earth First activists Judy Barry and Daryl Chernow exploded in Oakland, California, critically injuring both. That sounds like a hit. So, 1991, Israel conducted Operation Solomon, evacuating Ethiopian Jews to Israel. 365 days after that, despite trailing 7-1, New York Yankees tie Milwaukee Brewers, and then scored one in the ninth to avoid fifth straight extra inning game.
Oh, jeez.
92 as well, the ethnic cleansing of Kozrak, Bosnia, and Herzegovina began with Serbian militia and police forces entered the town. Jeez, man. That's terrible. Yeah. And why is that not on primary source?
It should be.
It's not. Exclamation point. So
it was really, really big.
Yeah. We also have the Thai Prime Minister Shishinda Kaparayun resigned after 48 days in office, following pro-democracy protests. He was the last Thai dictator. Thank goodness. 1993, Eritrea achieved independence from Ethiopia after a 30-year civil war. Dang.
30 years.
Yeah. 93 as well, Kim Basier filed for bankruptcy to avoid paying a $7.4 million settlement. 93, Star Trek episode Second Chances aired, guest starring Mae Jemison, the first real-life astronaut to appear on the show. That's awesome. Can you imagine? Oh! Well, didn't she become like a standard cast member or something later? Like Uhura or whatever? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
The original one was way before her.
Oh, okay. I don't know the character names. Like, anyway, 93 as well. Roman Catholic Cardinal Juan Jesus Posadas Ocampo and 5 other people were assassinated in a shootout at Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla Guadalajara International Airport in Mexico. I was having a hard time reading that. 94, 4 men were convicted of bombing the World Trade Center in New York in 93. Each one was sentenced to 240 years in prison. Just kill them. 96, Spy Hard, starring Leslie Nielsen, was released. So good old Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Satirical thing. 97, actor Tim Allen was arrested for drunk driving in Michigan. Yeah, I wonder if he did that. Do you know why I pulled you over? That's not helping your case, Mr. Allen. 99, Venezuela entered the Antarctic Treaty System. And the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia in The Hague, Netherlands, indicted Slobodan Milosevic and 4 others for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Kosovo. The year 2000, Israeli troops withdrew from southern Lebanon after 22 years of occupation. That's way too much time of occupation. That's what they do. They just move in and take. 2001, mountain climbing, 15-year-old Sherpa Tempa Tashiri became the youngest person to climb to the top of Mount Everest. Nice. 2001 as well, the Democrats gained control of the U.S. Senate for the first time since 94 when Senator James Jeffords of Vermont abandoned the Republican Party and declared himself an independent. We also have the Versailles Wedding Hall disaster in Jerusalem, Israel. Killed 23 people and injured over 200 in Israel's worst ever civil disaster. Wow. Now it says one of Israel's deadliest peacetime civilian disasters. So I guess it's no longer worst time. And that's primary source edited. So it's no longer the worst ever. That's terrible. 2002, Russia and the United States signed the Moscow Treaty. What does that entail?
I don't know.
I'm going to look that up here really quick.
Probably arms control or reduction or something.
Oh, yeah. Strategic Offensive Reductions Treaty, 2002, Nuclear Disarmament Treaty between the U.S. and Russia. Yeah. So it's another start. So, Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, STRT. So, that's, copy. So, Moscow Treaty. I want to show you really quick. Moscow meme images. Hey, look, it's Moscow. 2003, Paul McCartney performed in his first ever concert in Russia, in Moscow's Red Square. We're still stuck in Moscow. To a crowd of over 100,000 people.
Wow.
Dang. 2004, North Korea banned mobile phones. Well, they gotta control the population somehow. 2010, Andrew Wakefield, doctor at the Center of MMR Vaccination Scare, struck off the UK Medical Register after being found guilty of serious professional misconduct. Why didn't we do that to Fauci? After his whole, you remember the flies eating the puppy face thing that he did? Like,
I don't remember that.
at risk, I know you don't want to hear it, but just to remind everybody that this actually happened, for whatever reason, Fauci conducted an experiment where he had puppies, young dogs, like affixed to tables, they're tied down and everything, and they had their faces in like this enclosed thing full of hungry flies, and just for whatever reason had the flies eat the faces off of the puppies. Now, I don't like dogs, but even I find that just apprehensible.
That is disgusting.
Like, and why? What's the point?
And Fauci did that?
Yes. If you don't believe me, look it up.
I didn't say I didn't believe it.
No, not just you. I'm talking to the audience. It's disgusting, what Fauci has done in the past. And he hasn't faced a single repercussion for any of his actions. The guy should face a firing squad. So, that'd be a waste of bullets. Like, no matter what, it's a waste of something because he's so useless as an entity. 2013, Rafael Correa was sworn into a third term as president of Ecuador. Third term, huh? 2013, the popular game Flappy Bird was released on the App Store for iOS and later became the most downloaded free game in the App Store, during which period creator Dong Nguyen earned $50,000 a day.
Wow.
From microtransactions or whatever, or maybe ads, So, and yeah, I remember Flappy Bird was taken off eventually, and then people started selling phones with Flappy Bird still downloaded. It became like a black market thing.
Ah.
So, yeah. 2014, Yingluck Shinawatra, former Prime Minister of Thailand, was detained by the army after a military coup. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake occurred in the Aegean Sea between Greece and Turkey, injuring 324 people. So, only injuries, so that's better than deaths. At least 3 people were killed in a shooting at Brussels' Jewish Museum of Belgium in 2014 as well. 2016, Bill Cosby was ordered to stand trial in a sexual assault case in Norristown. I still believe he was innocent. And, we're going to get to a reason here in a minute. 2016, Kaduna State in Nigeria declared a state of emergency due to tomato Ebola as moth destroyed 80% of tomato crops. Holy crap. Yikes. 2018, actor Morgan Freeman accused of sexual harassment by several women in CNN report. This is what I'm talking about. The whole Me Too movement. All these females are just coming out of the woodwork, lying left, right, and center. They're famous. I want my 5 minutes of fame. Friggin' Morgan Freeman raped me. Friggin' this guy, Louis C.K. Who were we just talking about? Bill Cosby. He drugged my drink. Shut up, you liars. Just shut up.
I wonder whatever happened to Morgan Freeman. Would he become innocent on that thing?
Well, I didn't hear anything about it since then.
That's the first I've ever heard anything about it.
Yeah, but I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork accusing everybody. To all those who actually did get violated, my heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
But to all those who lied, may you burn in hell for all of time. Seriously, disgusting, reprehensible. 2018, at least 14 children reported mauled to death by wild dogs near Karabad, India, after closure of slaughterhouses. Jeez. Bangladeshi police reported to have shot 52 suspected drug traffickers in anti-narcotics crackdown in 10 days. All right, well, get rid of the trash. 2018 as well, record U.S. fentanyl seizure of 120 pounds or 54 kilograms confirmed by police in Nebraska in April, enough to kill 26 million people, one of the largest drug busts in history. China, U.S. President Donald Trump canceled summit with North and South Korea because of hostile statements from North Korea. That would do it. We also have U.S. President Donald Trump posthumously pardoned boxer Jack Johnson for racially oriented criminal conviction, transporting a white woman across state lines.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Trump.
Yeah.
Why didn't Obama do it?
Thank you.
Why didn't Obama do it?
Why hadn't all the presidents from way back done it?
Yeah. Why didn't Biden do it?
Yeah.
Why didn't freaking Clinton do it? The
Bushes, everybody.
See, what blows my mind is the left would find something like this about Trump, and then they would drag him through the mud with it.
But you could do that.
Well, no. Not this. They're not going to blame him for this. What I'm saying is, Like they would find something, you know, obscure and drag them through the mud.
Oh, yeah.
But they wouldn't bring up something like this and be like, oh, shameful, why didn't Obama look out for a brother? You know? Like, terrible. Even though Obama's half white, you know? So, what else do we got here? 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump signed into law the Economic Growth, Regulatory Relief, and Consumer Protection Act, easing financial regulations and reducing oversight for banks. We also have the world's largest cat-proof fence at 44 kilometers or 27.3 miles, completed at New Haven Wildlife Sanctuary, Central Australia, to protect endangered species. Like,
yeah. Hunting cats. Okay.
Yeah, no, like this basically spans from one coast of Australia to another. It spans the entirety of Australia. Well, no, not the entirety. This only goes 23 miles. So, but still, there's like a large fence.
Yeah.
You know. It just goes on and on and on. What else do we got here? 2019, Brazil's Supreme Court voted to make homophobia and transphobia crimes. What about heterophobia? You know, straight lives matter. If you're going to make those crimes, be fair and make hatred towards straight people, you know, a crime too. Because now, you know, by doing this, you know, if somebody shoots, you know, if a straight shoots a gay, that's a hate crime. If a gay shoots a straight, that is also a hate crime, is it not?
You would think so.
Well, for some reason it's not.
Obviously.
It only goes one way, and that's bullshit. You know? So if you want rights, if you want equality, then have rights, have equality, or shut the fuck up. You know? Basic. 2019, Brazil Supreme Court, we already got that one. 2019 as well. 22 students died in a fire in Surat, India. May you rest in peace. Under pressure over her handling of Brexit, British Prime Minister Theresa May announced her resignation as leader of the Conservative Party, effective as of June 7th. Bye-bye. You know? British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in 2020 refused to sack his senior aide, Dominic Cummings, after it is revealed he broke the country's lockdown rules to drive across the country. Well, they all should be hung up by their thumbs. Millions of cicadas in a once-in-a-17-year event about to emerge from the Earth in the U.S. South, posing crop danger and noise issues, according to scientists from Virginia Tech. I never heard anything about it. I was hearing for years and years and years, and I could have sworn I heard about it more recently than 2020. You know, unless they're still talking about it. Yeah, but it's, you know, it feels like a lifetime 2020. You know, so. We also have the New York Times print the front page with nearly 1,000 names of people who have died from Kung Flu, as U.S. toll neared 100,000. More fear-mongering there. The constitutional crisis deepened in Samoa after Speaker of the House shut out Fiemi Naomi Mataafa from being sworn in as the country's first woman leader in 56 years. Wow. That's not right to keep her out of there. So, 2021 as well. Deposed Myanmar civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi appeared in court against charges laid by the military government. India's Kung Flu death toll passed 300,000 at 303,720, the third country to do so, with experts saying it is a vast undercount. More fear-mongering. 2022, here we go. 19 children and 2 teachers were shot and killed at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, by an 18-year-old gunman. Resulting in the deaths of 21 people, including 19 children. So local police acted pathetically. So, you know, they didn't do shit. And they actually started arresting parents who were climbing the fence, you know, to take care of matters in their own town. You know, when you can't rely on the government, you got to rely on yourself. And when the government arrests you for relying on yourself, that's when you know it's time to take the government fucking down, you know. 2022, U.S. rock band Aerosmith canceled planned Las Vegas concert in June and July as singer Steven Tyler returned to drug rehab. Okay. Leaders of the Quad Nations, U.S., Australia, India, and Japan met in Tokyo, focusing on Chinese aggressions in the Indo-Pacific. Yep. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in 2023, the stupidest thing he's ever done in his entire life, launched of his bid for the Republican presidential nomination on Twitter, is marred by glitches and outages. Yeah, against Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Trump supporter, believe me.
Yeah,
like,
it was not a good political move.
But I'm just gonna see, you know, like, if anything, I would have voted for DeSantis. But to throw your hat in the ring at that time was the stupidest thing you could have ever done. You know,
Very
just
likely.
back off, wait your turn, DeSantis.
Had
man.
he not run then, or chose to try to run against Trump,
Yeah.
he very well could be the vice president right now.
Yes. Very well. You know, either that, because you know DeSantis. You know, once again, I'm not a Trump supporter, but you know he's doing a good job. I have to give credit where credit is due.
He's
And
been a great governor for governor for Florida.
no, I'm talking about Trump.
Oh.
You know, DeSantis, I almost idolize for his stance against Disney. You know, now if DeSantis hadn't committed political suicide, you know, not only would he possibly be vice president, but even if he was not, he would be a very good competition for what's his face, the current VP.
Yeah, J.D. Vance.
Vance, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
because he's been a great governor down there.
But because of this action, he fucked himself.
Well,
you know,
he talked to his advisors, talked to a lot of people.
So he's gonna have to.
Thought it was a good idea.
Well, no, it's not. It wasn't.
It was a bad idea.
No, it was a stupid idea. But like you know, like he should have waited his turn, even if it's after Vance. But you know, now he's just never gonna get it. Anyway, 2023, a man with paralysis walked naturally for the first time in 12 years after a Swiss team created a neurological link between the brain and spinal cord, findings published in Nature. But that kind of sounds like a Neuralink there. And I also want to read here, former U.S. youth poet laureate Amanda Gorman's poem, The Hill We Climb, is placed on a restricted reading list at Bob Graham Education Center, Miami Lakes, amid increasing censorship across Florida. Yeah, because it was like pro-LGBTQT or something, and that was like she read that during Biden's inauguration or something. I'm not sure.
But why are you restricting it? I don't like that.
Because it's like propaganda or something. I haven't heard it, but I know it's propaganda.
I've never heard of her or of the poem.
2023 as well, mercenary Wagner Group said it is handing over the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut after capturing it for Russia in one of the longest and bloodiest battles of the war so far. And last but not least, we have in 2023, tests for a possible alien transmission to Earth to see if humans can decode it, sent from ExoMars, Trace Gas Orbiter, the spacecraft orbiting Mars. Okay, so we're testing to see if we can even decode things. That's pretty smart.
I don't quite understand that. Where's this decoding coming from?
They're sending it from a spacecraft orbiting Mars.
Okay.
And they're sending a transmission, garbled, to see if we can decode it.
Oh, okay.
Like, which is weird because we're sending our own transmission to decode, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess if you have like, you know, like separate groups or something, you know, have somebody make like, you know, a freaking Enigma machine.
Anything,
so
and then see if it can be decoded. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, so we can only bring you a portion from two sources combined into one document. We got through it, folks! You know, excellent work, everybody who's still here. Checking to see if we have any comments. Nope, we do not. So anyway, yeah, where'd my script go? For your dose of Fast Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Mayo Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until next time.